QuickBooks Pro Desktop 2021. Add service items and enter invoices in Service Job Cost System. Let's get into it with Intuit's QuickBooks Pro Desktop 2021. Here we are in our Get Great Guitars practice file homepage. We currently have the Open Windows open. You can open the Open Windows by going to the View dropdown, selecting the Open Windows list. We're now going to set up a system that would be similar to something that you might see in a CPA firm or an accounting firm, a bookkeeping firm, or a law firm, which is basically a job cost type system for a service company. So in that type of system, you might have like a partner who has other people that work for them, and then you might have different rates that would be charged for each individual that you will then be billing out to the customer. So for example, you might have a different hourly rate that you might be charging out for each individual. You would require those individuals then to track their hours and what they were working on so that you can then bill the customers. Now you could do that if you're using hourly rates with this kind of formats down below, and you can enter the time and track the time within QuickBooks and use that to link to the invoice. I'm not going to do that here because there's all other ways you can do that as well. That could be a good system to do, but you might use the system of tracking the time outside of QuickBooks and just manually input it based on the timesheets that are outside, or use some other kind of time tracking. I also recommend that even if you're in a system like that, it would be nice if you can basically have a set job that would be set up. So for example, for us, we have guitars, so we're going to call it guitar lessons. Now, if we just say it's a guitar lesson and we can fix the price for different instructors' guitar lessons, then we don't have to track as much the time, which again is really a difficult kind of thing to do. It takes it's a burden to basically think about the time that's being considered, because then, the quality of time could change from time to time, and it's harder to indicate that to a customer. So if you can tell them we're going to have this person do this guitar lesson, and this is the chunk of time that's there, we have a set price, then that saves a lot of time on the billing, the more you can basically do that. So the way we would set this up then is I'm going to say we have basically employees, guitar instructors in our case, that we will then be charging a different rate to. So we have to set up an item for them. I'm going to set up an item that we will charge our customers for by going to the lists dropdown and setting up an item. Now I'm going to set up 3 items for our 3 guitar instructors in our case. I'm going to go to the items dropdown, or rise up, and then I'm going to go to new up top. And our first, it's going to be a service item we're going to set up. We're not selling any actual physical inventory here, so service item. The first one's going to be Angela, so I'm going to say Angela Guitar Lessons. And if I misspell anything, I apologize in advance for that. It's going to be, the description is also Angela Guitar Lessons. And so I'm going to put Angela Guitar Lessons as the rate for Angela is going to be $150. The tax, not taxable because it's a service item. So I'm going to remove the tax. And then on the account, we could put this into the service account, but I would like to have another income account that's going to be specific to guitar lessons. So notice you want to be careful on how many income accounts you break out. So for example, I don't want a separate income account for each guitar instructor, because I would like to I can get that detail by looking at the items, sorting my income by items. But I might want another account that just groups what I'm earning on the actual income statement regarding guitar lessons. So I'm going to set up another one. I'm going to say, let's add an account up top. I'm going to say add a new one. And I'm going to call this, it's going to be an income account. It's going to be guitar lessons. And that's what we'll have. I won't put anything more on the description. I think that says it all. That says it all. So we'll save that. And then I'm going to say, okay. And we have another guitar instructor. So another guitar, and notice this rate, I might say that rate is their hourly rate, or I might call that rate per lesson. Maybe they have a couple hour lesson or something like that. And then I can standardize the chunks of lessons, and they can just tell me how many lessons they had, right? And then I could bill on that way. Or I can use an hourly rate as well and have them track their time that they have. So then we're going to say we want to have a new item again. Once again, it's going to be a service item. This time I'm going to call it Jody Guitar Lessons. I'm going to copy it this time by Control-C, and I'm going to put that in the description. The rate for Jody's guitar lessons, I'm going to say is $190. So different rate for different different instructors, but we're going to say it's going to the same account, which is going to be guitar lessons income. So I'm going to say okay. And then we've got one other guitar instructor. I'm going to say items rise up and go to the new. And this is going to be a service. It's going to be an item. This is going to be Rebecca guitar lessons. And that's going to copy that, put that in the description. The rate for Rebecca, we're going to say is 100. It's non-taxable. I hope I did that for the other one. I'll check if I didn't do that. And then this is going to be guitar lessons. And then okay. So there we have that. Now let's just, did I do that for Jody's? Let me see if I made it. I'm going to double click on Jody. And then I need to remove this taxable. It's non-taxable. And then okay. So there we have it. So now we've got these three different, basically we could say they're employees or contractors that maybe they work at our guitar shop or something like that. So we deal with the billing or something like that, right? In any case, we're going to say they're charging them. We're not going to be calling them employees for our purposes here. We're going to basically say they're contractors that we're billing out here. And notice I don't want to get into whether someone can be a contractor or an employee. So you want to make sure that if you set something up like this, are they an employee or are they a contractor? Can they be considered a contractor? So you can get into the rules of that. But the billing process is going to be similar either way. So we're going to go back on over to the home page then, and now we're going to be setting up our invoices. So we're going to assume now that we're being told by these three individuals how much time they had spent, and we're going to be responsible for billing through that system. So we're going to say, all right, let's create an invoice, and we're going to say that we're going to set up a new customer. This is going to be Star Lee. I'm going to say tab, and I'm just going to quick add, even though we would probably want the more in-depth add if we were to add the customer so we can send them our newsletter and whatnot, but we're just going to do the quick add to process through this. This is going to be as of 2/28, and we're going to say it's invoice number 7, which is populated automatically. The terms we might want to keep at net 30, which is kind of standard. This is going to be Jody's guitar lessons. So Jody told us that they had basically gave us her timesheet, or just told us the lessons that they had, right, that we're tracking. And they said that this customer, Starlee, we have five, we could say hours if it was an hourly rate, or 5 lessons, whatever the rate of the lessons would be, times that 190. It's not taxable, so there's going to be our total. And what's this going to do? It's going to be increasing the service items income, and it's going to increase the accounts receivable that we will be collecting on. So we'll just go through, and we're imagining we're going through Jody's basically timesheet, or worksheet that she has for the month of, let's say, February here, and we're entering that into the system. So I'm going to say save and new. I'm going to say yes here, save the terms. And she says the next customer, which we're going to add, is Lynn Jackson. I'm going to add that customer quickly once again. 2/28's the date. Terms, I'm going to say net 30 on the terms. This is going to be Jody's guitar lessons once again. We're going to say that there are 10 lessons there for Jody. That gives us a total of 1,900. That's going to increase revenue, and the other side is going to go to accounts receivable. So then I'd say save and new once again, and we're going to save the terms on that one. Next, she had on her timesheet, we'll say Diana Martinez. That's another customer, so I'm going to add that, quick add. And we're going to say that this is once again Jody's lessons that we just set up. We're going to say 5 hours or sessions for that item. And then once again, I'll say save and new. And there we have it. I don't think I entered the terms there, which I probably should have, but in any case, now I'm going to go to Angela's guitar lessons. So we're imagining we have Angela's timesheet or work schedule sheet for the month, and we're going to enter her information. She's got a customer, Diane, which is Diana Miller. New customer, quick add. So we're going to tab through this, and we're going to say this is for Angela. Angela, quantity, we'll say 6 on her timesheet or whatever she provided us with. It's going to be the 150 times 6 gives us the 900. This will once again increase the revenue account for guitar revenue, even though it's the same revenue account for our different instructors here. The other side then going to go into accounts receivable. So then let's do it again. I'll say save and new. And then next one is going to be Jill. I'm going to say Jill Gonzalez tab, adding. And this is going to be once again for our instructor Angela tab. We're going to say 9 hours here. So there we have it. Same thing. Increase in the service revenue, increase in the accounts receivable. We're going to say save and new. Next item on Rebecca's timesheet we're going to say is Noah Davis. Noah Davis tab, add. Tabbing through this, we're going to say then we have the item, which is going to be Rebecca's guitar lessons. She had 8 of those on the timesheet, so that's what we have. We should probably be adding the terms of net 30. And so I'm going to say save and new again. And say yes. We're going to do this for one more instructor. This is going to be Rebecca's. Now we're imagining we're going through Rebecca, our other guitar instructor's timesheet or work schedule for the month. And this is going to be Grace Matthew tab, quick add, and we're just going to tab through this, and we're going to say this is going to be for Rebecca's guitar lessons, and she had 6 of those. So there it is. I'm going to say save and new. It actually looks like the last one I entered for Rebecca as well, so I'll keep that. We're going to go Rebecca, and then the next one we'll do one more, and this is going to be Pam Smith tab. We're going to quick add that one, tabbing through this item. This is going to be net 30, let's say, and then the item is going to be Rebecca, I'm going to say again, and that's going to be 8 quantity. So this will once again be increasing the revenue account, other side going to the accounts receivable. So let's go ahead and save and close this time. Save and close. I'm going to save the terms. And then let's go to our reports and see what we have. Then I'm going to go to the reports drop down, go to the company and financial, and then we're going to go down to the balance sheet report, changing the dates up top in the customized reports from 01/01/21 to 12/31/21. That's January through December 2021. Okay. If we go to the accounts receivable, we can double click on the receivables. Now we have all those invoices that we have entered down here for basically we're going to say our customers, right? So these are our customer invoices. If I double click on either of them, customer invoices related to our guitar instructors, we'll pick up our invoice. Closing this back out, we can see the supporting information for that on the accounts receivable subledger, which is going to be in the reports drop down, customers and receivables. We can go to the customer balance detail, and there we have our sub information for our new customers we set up. Diana Miller, Eric Music, Grace Matthews, and so on and so forth. The total adding up to the 13,473. That matches the balance sheet, which is also at the 13,473. Other side, on the income statement, where we set up a new line item, a new income account, reports drop down, company and financial, profit and loss standard, and then we'll open up or change dates from 01/01/21 to 12/31/21. So now we have our new item that we set up, breaking out another service item. So we got like our general service item down here, which is like guitar service that we had in it. And then we got our guitar lessons that we broke out separately up here into our guitar lessons, double clicking on that. And we have the detail for the invoices that we have charged there. Closing this back out. Remember that you don't want too many income accounts, because you might say, well, why didn't I make another guitar lessons account per guitar instructor, and then I can have more detail. You don't want to get too carried away with the detail up here, because you'll muddy up the profit and loss. So you can get more detail by another report, right? We can go to the reports drop down and say that we want to take a look at the sales, and possibly we want to take a look at the sales by item, right? So we might want the sales by item summary, let's say. Sales by item summary, changing the dates up top from 01/01/21 to 12/31/21. And now we've got our sales by item, which will then be breaking out here. We have Angela's service, and we've got Rebecca down here, and Jody. So you can get more information about about the sales line item this way. If you tried to break each of these items out on the income statement, it would be quite long. So if I took this total here, this 14,930, and went to the profit and loss, those are going to be the service items, which are the guitar lessons at the 8250 plus the service items down here, which is the 6680. So that 14,930, I can break out with more detail on that second report. So you want to be careful. You might want like something here that says guitar lessons so I can see it quickly on the P&L, but you wouldn't want to break it down by basically per guitar instructor most likely or anything like that. So we're going to leave it at this point here, but just also note with regards to this, we haven't recorded the expense for us paying the guitar instructors, which we would have to pay either with a 1099 type of expense down here that we would have to charge and pay them out if we can have them qualify as something other than an employee. If they were an employee, of course, then we would have to be processing. They'd be part of our payroll calculation as we process through the payroll calculation. So obviously that would be part of the process as well. But what we want to concentrate in on is the different kind of thing here is that billing process that you might have in like an hourly type of billing process, or if you have a billing process by job, but breaking out different rates by who's doing the job in like a service type of setup as you might have in a bookkeeping company, an accounting company, a CPA firm, a law firm. So here's where we stand at this point. If we go to the balance sheet, we see this is what we have at this point. If you're checking your numbers compared to what we have here, the P&L, this is what we have in terms of the profit and loss. You could check your numbers there. We're currently at the net income on the bottom line at the 842.25, and then we're also going to be taking a look at the trial balance because I think that's the best way to check the numbers, which is in the accounting and taxes trial balance, changing the dates up top from 01/01/21 to 12/31/21. There's where we stand in terms of the trial balance.